Cool. Welcome, everybody. Let's get into it. Oh, I just realized I probably should make some changes, but whatever. I'm not taking the stream super seriously, to be honest. Hey, Axel, how's it going? Welcome, Magnus. Okay. I don't know, man. Hey, Jude, welcome. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Hey, Cesar. It was good. Yeah, we went to... There's not really coffee shops that we love close to us. The closest one is like 15, 20 minutes away. But we have a favorite that we went to. It was good stuff. I probably could have sped that up. Welcome, everybody. But that should be okay. And they burned their gene, which is interesting because I kept Sam back for that. I mean, he'll run through at least the Sinister as well, and we can put him on defense, so I'm not too worried. But I'm surprised that they burned Gene on that. Yeah, I also have an A2 rank 4 Lady Deathstrike now. Don't think I'm running her in this meta, but I mean, part of that's just what we've talked about before, right? You have to pick only 30 champions. You're gonna be leaving people out who could be good. And yeah, the Gentle was just yesterday, Callum. Alright, I'm glad they have to go first here. We've got options for everything they do. Let's just see what we can... Cool. If they're gonna throw down Nico, then I think Gentle is the call, because their Jack will be punching up 2 levels. Their Viv will have some tempo problems. I'm comfortable with this. Thanks, that's cool. Nice, Warrior. Who did they ban? I don't know. Oh, that's not good. I was planning on eating the special 3. But at this point, we just gotta full send. Emma's an incredible dual threat this meta. I was thinking about throwing... Or no, I do have her in. Yeah. I just haven't... I just didn't draft her here. Rank 3 or 4. Who were you asking about there, Ice Call? Who did they ban? I guess we can't see it here. Y'all are welcome to complain about this BG season. I am going to ignore you. For my own mental health. Not telling you to stop. Just don't go until you get a response. I can't imagine not banning rank 5 Ascended Gentle. Fair. Ah, the true Olympian advice. Yeah, no problem. Checked out my vid on challenge rating. Had no idea it was so integrated. Had me thinking about math first time in years. That's cool to hear. Yeah, I end up using math a fair bit in my job. That's a good deck. Yeah, I hear that, King. I didn't even make GC last season, unfortunately. Okay, they did ban my Gentle and my Kindred this time. That's very annoying. I think I'm just gonna go here for the double. Oh, I was saying I didn't reach the GC last season, and so I have a lot of climbing to do. Are they just not giving me Mystics? It's not very cool. Alright, let's grab Shocker. And Thanos. Like, we're kind of doubling down here, but I don't care. Okay, I'll take the White Tiger. I'll take the Luke. We don't really have an option for Yelena at the moment. Maybe Storm shows back up. Kind of a rough draft for us. I don't think Blue Marvel needed to counter Unstoppable. Okay, they're really not helping us at all here. That's fine. I'm not burning a reroll this early. It is what it is. Yeah, I would have used High Evolutionary there too. It is unfortunately the correct move by them. They probably just have us. Let's see. No, I should have thrown the special one there, not the heavy. It's not really what I'm going for. Yeah, bite me. Nice, congrats on Valiant. Yeah, I mean, we just lost this one. We don't have other defenders after losing that one, and that's fine because we could have won that one, except I don't have answers to his stalls. So what are you gonna do? No, it's not taboo. It's just stupid for us to put it on every single character who has a good effect on their heavy, right? Like, that just trivializes it, and that ends up meaning that we would need to throw more stun immunity on defenders. That's the kind of thing that leads to an arms race if you're not careful. Thanks for the follow, Schwartz. Yes, they are. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if we had won that one, our opponent would have had to put themselves on... I don't want to use insensitive metaphors. There would have been a lot of shame. But what are you going to do? Bad drafts happen. That's awesome, Warrior. I'm still chasing that particular ascension. Yeah, I mean, put another way, because I know you're still asking about Blue Marvel. If Blue Marvel had a mid-combo stun, the debuffs on his heavy would be a lot shorter. Like, those things interact, right? It's a very, very annoying opponent. No, you're secret. Come on, keep up. Okay, well, they didn't ban those two rank 5s, so they are coming in. See, last time I streamed, Twitch was really busy and YouTube was almost dead, and so I like adjusted the size of the chat windows a little bit. Now it's the other way around. I imagine this is just going to happen. I don't know, man. Maybe I should have taken Patriot there. I'm like everyone is a two-way here. I don't know if that's the right call. Got A2 Kindred the other day? Yeah, I would take them to at least rank 4. Okay, I think that's a clear storm. I'd love to see the mechanic as part of an offensive loop on a captain character. Well, you're in luck, because that literally describes the first ever use of it on Patriot. I'm not fully sure what you're going for there. Congrats, Jay. That's awesome. Maybe everybody's already collected their drops. I think you're probably right. It's just silly how much it fluctuates. Nope, no, that's not what I meant to do. Ah! That's okay. We get time. Knockdown. Yeah, and if I had played this properly, we would have done that 25 seconds ago, but thank you, Penny. Colron, I'm not 100% sure if I'm following you, but I think you're asking about the combo tracker that I have turned on. You can opt into it in settings. I've gotten used to it, and I also think it's generally good for streaming because it allows people to follow what combos I'm doing. If not, then I don't know what you're talking about, but I think that's where you're going. How to celebrate with wine and Coliseum. Hell yeah. I may or may not have had an IPA before this stream. Morning, Egg. What do I say about pumping up crystal shards? Are you asking about in the Realm event? Like, the crystals are fine, right? Fine Saga side event currency. You can get lucky on the pulls. I never do, but, like, I don't know. They're pretty much the same as all the other side events. Oh, dang it. That's gonna hurt. Nope, that's even worse. Alright, well. I'm gonna have to turn off or reduce just how many of the Twitch notifications I get. Because that's gonna get to me. Okay, that was fine. Her Special 3 really does work. But thank you for following, everybody. Yes, Realm. It's fine, right? Like, I think people are comparing the current Realm event to Banquet, and there's just no reason to do that. Like, good stuff was in the stretch milestones for Banquet because every time we hit a new stretch milestone, it meant that people were spending units. God, those notifications are so loud. Is that directly editable on the overlay? One second, let me switch accounts on my stream element since it refuses to let you edit both at the same time. Thank you for the follows, everybody. It is not your fault that you are slowly driving me insane. Volume control. Beautiful. All right. All right. Followers are going down to 10%. I'll leave subs a little louder. Hi, Sergeant. Okay, that does reset Twitch chat, but that's okay. I do appreciate the follows, y'all. Oh, that's so much better. Nice distant noise. Right, so that's what I was starting to say, is that like people are comparing this to Banquet, but every time we reached a new stretch milestone in Banquet, it meant people were spending units, right? People were helping fund the game. That's not the case here. You can put up so many points so quickly if you have an ascended null. Like, that's not something that we should be giving really good rewards out for. Good deck. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, the value was good for me as well, ASAP. I think I spent probably, I forget it. I don't know exactly. I didn't track it closely, but I think I spent like $200, like 15,000 units or so. And like that's significant, right? I don't want to downplay that at all. What am I doing? But like I got 6 A2s and 2 rank 5s out of it, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Nah, not Korg. Yeah, feel free, Akbar. It was really simple. I followed Abdo's advice, I think. I think B might be doing the same thing. It's pretty easy. Maybe I should have grabbed Hitmonkey, but I don't know. It's okay. Take care, Nick. You can work towards it, Koron. It's not that bad. It's just the newest progression title. And if you're having that reaction to those rewards, then it means you probably haven't been playing that much or that seriously for that long. And so it's supposed to kind of be out of your reach. But, like, that's okay. You got plenty of time. This is going to be a weird one. It's okay. Oh, missed the projection coming back. That's my fault. Okay. Could have played that better. How'd we do? Well enough. I was just surprised to see it balanced such that we capped it out with the first set of bosses. I mean, that's the kind of thing that just... There's no real science to it, right? Because I'm pretty sure we capped it out this quickly because people were having fun and doing it after they maxed out the points. There was no guarantee that was going to happen. And if we had balanced it around that and made sure that it took all 3 bosses to hit with people playing this much, and then people hadn't played this much, like, people would have been really, really angry. And when you're looking at something like this, where there are good rewards, but they're not absurd rewards, it makes more sense to tune it on the generous side so that people don't have to wait as long for the ability to max the event, you know? Honestly, without like really looking over the map with a fine-tooth comb king, I'm not sure, but that looks like it makes sense. I don't use Gladiator much, so I'm not sure what he's for. Yeah, Iron Man in raids is disgusting work. Oh, that was an answer for King. Yeah, okay. If SW is Spider-Woman, I do agree with Elijah there. Spider-Woman's a fantastic champion, right? In something like Battlegrounds, clearly above Blue Marvel. But if you're doing ramp content, I think I would just ramp him, yeah. Yeah, it depends on the damage type, Cannabis, kind of like Elijah and Work are saying. Well, maybe not Elijah. I do want to clarify real quick that, like, resistances are not created equal, and this is unfortunate, but it's because English is limited. Um, Physical and energy resistance are attributes that take effect at the damage calculation stage. And so every single time there is a damage event, the game checks to see if it's physical or energy, and if so, applies energy or physical resistance. As opposed to dot resistances like bleed resistance, that is a change to the potency of incoming bleeds. And so this also is why certain things update and other things don't, right? If an energy resistant or if an energy vulnerability on the opponent expires while a neuroshock is up, the neuroshock's damage will drop because every half second it is calculating a new damage event, and now the attribute energy resistance has changed. But if a bleed vulnerability expires on the opponent, then existing bleeds won't change what damage they do because their modifier was already calculated at the beginning. There's also a video on this in my Math of MCOC video. It's the one about, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like Let's Talk Damage or something. If you're curious for more examples, but yeah, that. Okay, should I make any changes here? I do have Deathstrike and Iron Man. Not to mention Null. Haven't really been drafting Korg. Maybe I should drop him. Feels like the opponent always has good mutants. Yeah, let's swap Korg out for somebody. I was thinking, like, yeah, we can try Atuma for now. See how it goes. The thing about Atuma is that I think Atuma is very underrated as an attacker, but in this meta, where attack mods matter, he doesn't scale as well, because the Fury doesn't boost his Thorns, Recoil doesn't boost his Thorns, and so you're basically just relying on the crits from ramp, and maybe that's enough, but it's different. How come crit bleeds bypass bleed resistance? Some of them do, some of them don't, and it's a tech thing, really. Um, but the ones that do are basically coded with an invisible bleed vulnerability. In my opinion, that is the wrong way to build them. They should not do that, and we may change it at some point, but yeah, implementation varies. No thank you. Is there anything down here that I need to ban? No, I think we're just going to go after the big three here. Not surprised by their bans either. No, the purple collective damage is not affected by resistance. Alright, let's see if Atuma does something. Health not mattering makes Atuma a lot less good on defense. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why he wasn't in there originally, even as big as he is. I may end up dropping him, but for now we play. Because I'm not 100% sure who should go in instead of him, right? I'll probably take another look after this. Hey, Pontus, how's it going? I'm doing good. It was a long week. I was ready for the break. I actually have Monday off as well, because it's a Canadian holiday. I'll probably do a little bit of work on it, not gonna lie, but not too much. They didn't really draft anyone for my Cosmics. That's not gonna go well for you, buddy. Yeah, I like the Shocker a lot. Probably shouldn't have used that art. Not bad for no crits. Hey, crit. But I say the workload is big on Kabam, like on every company. I mean, like at every company is going to vary wildly with what various people say, um, and with people's experiences. I think the work-life balance is pretty good. Like, Kabam does give us unlimited PTO and means it. And so, like, if I want to take a week off, 2 weeks from now, as long as it's not getting in the way of my deliverables, as long as I'm not, like, messing up other people waiting on me to be done with something, I can. And so that's really nice, right? People are also pretty chill about, like, hey, I'm sick today, I'm not coming in. And so I really don't feel like I can complain about my job. At the same time, thank you for the follow, Trank. At the same time, like, it is a live service game. There are rotating deadlines every single month. Oh, they were expecting me to die and just... Oh, not even that. They're just farming. They're a word I don't want to say on stream. Okay. But yeah, there's like a lot of rotating deadlines, and the economy is overall in a rough place for most countries and most industries, right? And so I don't think it is like particularly scandalous for me to say that, like, ideally we would have more people to do the amount of work we have. Because that probably goes for most of y'all listening, right? So yeah, there's always something to do. Alright, well, let's see how fast Atuma is here, since our opponent is basically AFK. Yeah, I would love to get Storm to A2. Yeah, of course. Is resist up just physical and energy combined? Yes. Buddy, throw it. I know he's gonna go unstoppable. You useless green lug. That would have been a lot faster if he weren't rude. Right, Akbar? Right, and they burned out the time not picking an attacker, but then clearly still paused again, because Dark Phoenix would have killed Okoye by now if they were away. So our opponent is just truly being the laziest waste of space they possibly can. You can even see them forgetting to pause for the first couple hits. Marvelous. Wait, hold on. That's fine. I do think we should drop it to him. Like, he's good, but that's not fast enough. We probably would have gotten better results with Death Strike. Is there a science that I want? Probably not, because they're just not incredible this meta. We could throw in Arcade. He's pretty good with what we're doing. Could bring in Death Strike, could bring in Iron Man. Oh yeah, Shocker's great here. Paiba's not a bad shout, yeah, just for defense. I do wish he was Ascended. I was thinking about Maker. I don't feel like I need him, though, between Sam and Shocker. Because, like, the benefit of Maker is normally that he takes less damage against the big mutants than those characters. He's not really faster. And so in this meta, it just doesn't matter. What mystics am I running? Kindred, White Tiger, Enchantress. I don't really remember, to be perfectly honest. We'll see in a minute. Oh, Paviter. Absorbing Man. Missing somebody else. I can't give you advice without knowing things. And between your username and the way you addressed me when my channel... I guess the channel still has a full name. I feel like you're being a little bit disingenuous, to be perfectly honest. Thank you for the follows, everybody. Appreciate it. How do I feel about Spot? I do think that Spot can be frustrating to play if things don't go perfectly your way. And he's obviously significantly better in this meta than on a lot of others, but he's good. Thanks for proving me right, Sam. Have a good one. Whoops. It's me. Almost caught myself on letting that heavy land. I honestly, I don't care if he throws the special 3. It's going to be faster than dealing with the special 2. I probably could have been a little friendlier in response to the first one. I feel a little bad about that, but like, feels a little bit weird to have people call me daddy, and I apologize for that. Um, and like, if you're gonna blow up like that in response, might as well. Does it still give the extra crit if the heavy doesn't actually land? No, it does not. Um, it did at one point in development, and people were just never landing the heavy and just charging heavy and then throwing specials, which, since they were unblockable, was very easy and very much not what I was going for. So I made sure to fix that. Yeah, that's what I figured. This is gonna suck. Hey, Vader. Yeah, if you're not seeing the skip special 3 button, head into your settings. Wow. Not cool, Ben. I thought that would kill him, not gonna lie. Well, I named myself the full thing, King. I didn't name myself the first 2 syllables of it. There is a difference. And there's a reason everything is DLL these days in the branding, right? Hey, Dante. I did address it a little bit earlier, Jethro. I think the long and short of it is just that this kind of realm event is not fully precedented, and so you have to kind of make some assumptions in the tuning of it. And if you're going to err on one side or the other, I think it makes a lot more sense to err on the generous side so that people can get their last key early in the event, rather than being angry at us that it didn't show up until the very end, you know? CCP stands for Content Creator Program. Um, yeah, there's an application online that you can find if you look for it. Are the CCP drops over? I honestly don't really clock or pay attention to the difference. This reward is no longer available. I guess so. I guess I should have streamed yesterday. Whatever. I'm going to be late on getting Thor. It is what it is. But I leave that on because if there are CCP drops, I've got them. And if there aren't, that's fine. Where did the name come from? I'm tall, and I used to be very skinny. So when I was in marching band in high school, I was called Daddy Longlegs. Which is decidedly different than the marching band officers calling me just the first part of it. People might have gotten in trouble for that. I don't know. Not confident in those bands. Hey, Vital. Welcome, Images. Yeah, exactly, work. Ben is Ben Grimm, Volron. Welcome to the channel. I have a tendency to address characters by their canon names. I mean, you might hear it, AK, but that doesn't mean anyone's saying it. Took me too long to answer? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make sure to read chat and get hit in the face in the middle of a fight next time. Wouldn't want to keep y'all waiting. The rainbow is first appearance. And I hope that that was not implying any disrespect towards the pride flag there. Because I am not gonna be very chill with that here. That normally lands. Weird. Here we go. Crit, please. Cool. Yeah, it first appearance is the specific special edition. We might have other portrait cosmetics in the future, but for now this is the only one, and it just means that you got them within the first window where they were available as 7 stars, or if they were already out as 7 stars, the first window where we decided to run their first appearance. Does Beta Ray Bill ignore Maestro's glancing? I don't believe. Oh, with the steady? Isn't that just against Tex or when he triggers an immunity? It's not the broadest glancing counter, very much on purpose. Because I think he's the first one. Yeah, he would have to... If he was immune to something against Maestro repeatedly, then yes, he would answer it, but that's not going to happen on a normal node. Emma may not... withstand Bastion here, but it's worth a shot. We're definitely in a little bit of trouble. Well, he had a pretty low chance to trigger it, but what are you gonna do? That probably made the difference. Yeah. Yeah, literally made the difference. If he hadn't thrown the special 3, I think we take it, but it is what it is. Hinder is not steady, no, but Hinder can reduce the chance to glance if you are hindering a glancing buff, specifically. Alright, well, time to lose. I hope they're bad at fighting Shocker. Sorry. I really, really despise hitting the striker button on accident. Throw it. Thank you. Did the protection come back? I wasn't even watching. Okay, no it didn't. Nope, they're not bad at fighting Shocker. Yeah, yeah. Good job, buddy. That's enough. Hey, Jason, how's it going, man? I think less than 25. Stellar Forge Blade good? I think so. There's a lot of Mystics right now. I think he's solid. Stream just turned into a Stormex showcase. The annoying thing is I definitely could have beaten that Hulkling if she just threw her specials more often. And that is... Like, that's the good thing about Storm in that matchup. It's also the frustrating thing about that matchup is it's just very, very dependent. Not even dependent. I don't like saying dependent because I feel like people take the wrong lesson from that. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't work unless the AI plays into you, because like that's true most of the time. What I mean specifically is that like it is subject to losing a lot of time because it stings to push her to special 2. But I probably just should have pushed her to special 2. The general rule, Rich, I don't answer favorite questions. Sorry. No. Millennial, it's when Bill is immune to something, not when anybody is immune to something. Your shocks triggering doesn't cause your steady. I get where the misunderstanding is coming from, but that's not how it works. I kind of wanted to take Penny there, but yeah, I knew... Well, I could use Sam against Onslaught. Maybe I should have. Oh, is that still in there where she'll do the reversal during her special? Because that should get fixed if so. So this is a frequent point of complaint. Just for now, you're gonna have to trust me when I say that the striker button for the fractured power bar is in the best place it can be. Because we tested a lot of different configurations across a lot of different devices, and it's just, it varies widely. It's one of those things. There's no clear answer. Excuse me. And that means that it's not great for everybody, but unless or until we get thinking. Unless or until we get something that allows us to move where those buttons are, that's going to be where it is. No, Intimidate is not bugged. Thanks for the follows, everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, it requires both making the UI elements flexible and also building out a separate UI where you can move the elements, right? And that takes some time, but it is something I think we would like to do before too long. I am going to reiterate, Rich, like, I appreciate you highlighting the message. It's not a question I answered. I don't think I really have an answer to that, Arungu. Because if I really like a champion I didn't make, then, like, if I had made them, they'd be different. Hey, Bozo. But yeah, Intimidate isn't bugged. It is a bias modification, right? It changes the weights of the random rolls. It's not a guarantee. Intimidate has never said prevents the opponent from attacking, forces them to only ever block or run away, right? And so that should mean, logically, that some amount of the time, while they're biased, or while the odds are that they're going to be more defensive, they still are offensive sometimes. That's just how that should work. I do not agree with that at all, Akbar. If it was on the right side, I would tap it constantly by just my normal gameplay. Come here. Cool. I was hoping that would kill her before she got the spells up. Yeah, no, I hear that. Most fan. Why not make all the layouts adjustable by the user? I just said that. It's not there's no button in Unity that says click here to allow users to change things, right? You have to build it. And this is like one of the truths of game development, that building one thing means not building something else. And so if we spend time building out like HUD customization, it means that we are not building like the necessary UI support for collectives or for Ascension or for ISO burst or for a new game mode. Like we do. I'm sorry. I'm very ADHD. I need to finish answering your question before I respond to others. Um, and so that doesn't mean that we're not going to ever do it, but it just means that it's not trivial, right? Yeah, I agree, Pontus. It's nice to have the option to play on PC, but I have some remaining quibbles with it, and I hope that we put some more into it at some point. Hey, Delfino. Um, when I designed Nico, did I intend to make her that strong of a defender? Yes and no. Orange, don't be a jerk. Like I get that y'all know each other, but come on, man. We don't need that energy in here. But Delphina, like, yes, I intended for her to be annoying because if you look around, like, Mystic Defenders are not what they used to be. Science Attackers, especially when Nico came out, were in a really, really strong place. And so Nico was intentionally annoying on defense to try and make sure that she slowed down some of the top science attackers, and gave us things to shoot at with others, right? And I think, to pat myself on the back a little bit, I think I nailed it. Like, Nico shipped with plenty of counters. Quicksilver's very good for her. Deathless She-Hulk is very good for her. There were a lot of counters for her. They just weren't the super fast Battlegrounds attackers. And so I'm very happy with how she turned out. She probably did land a little bit stronger than I intended, but not not by like more than the margin of error. sure to plug tomorrow's stream. Ah, yes. For those of you who are interested, we are planning. I believe Sim is hosting this time. If you don't follow Simula67 on YouTube, and it's not that 67, but that doesn't matter. But if you don't follow Sim, check him out. He does really good boss guides and great content. We're going to be streaming our war planning on his channel tomorrow night. We need more cosmics with Undermine. I mean, they're coming out. But there's already several. There's what, 4 or 5? I think it's fine. We don't want to saturate new counters, right? Because that's how you end up with, as I call it, the Penny Parker mistake, where it's like, oh, look, auto block and defensive power burn. Okay. Well, then we shipped, like, we already had Venom Pool and Venom. And then we also shipped Hulkling and Gore, who I know is not that great, but he's pretty good for Penny, and then also Gallon, and then it was just gone forever. And now, like, defensive power burn doesn't exist. And so you will get more Undermine Cosmics, but we need to make sure that we're not... There's an unpolite term that I'm trying to avoid here. But yeah, we need to make sure we're not oversaturating it too quickly. Got any tips to get high star characters fast? Play the game. That's really what it comes down to. Play the game, get better, do the big permanent content, be in an alliance that's appropriate for your activity level. Is the Platinum Pass good? Yeah, it's always fantastic value, and it was just updated, so it's about the best it's ever been. Take care, King. Oh, yeah. The combo tracker's straight up broken on PC, and it has been for a long time. It's very annoying. I would love to see that changed. Okay, well, I ended up with too many Mystics. Take care, Harsh. Everybody can just use their Ant-Mans for Nico. I know you're making a joke with the rank 4 part, but, like, yes, Ant-Man is a legitimate counter for Nico, and we sent several when she was new, because we had a rank 4 Ant-Man in our battle group, and he crushed it every time. I guess Miguel was out when she came out. I was thinking of him as later, not gonna lie. But yeah, him too. And, like, there are others, right? I didn't mention that even pre-buff Super Scroll worked for her. Odin worked for her. Like, there were plenty of workable counters. But then we over-countered her. Sig means signature ability, which is a specific set of mechanics on each character that only work when you have acquired more than one copy of them, or you have used something called an awakening gem to basically fake them. See, like, you're making a joke, Elijah, as though it is a counter to what I'm saying, but you're kind of proving it, right? Like, Ghost Rider was just teased recently. It's having utility against Serpent, and people cared. Maybe not everybody, but people cared. That's exactly how that's supposed to work, right? You have a big defender, and then you can chip counters to it, diverse, interesting counters to it for a long time after. That's the point. And yeah, as Jason is saying, even when Serpent came out, there were answers there too. I'm definitely open to it ASAP. Because growing up, I played a lot of RPGs, right? Like the old school BioWare games, Elder Scrolls. That was kind of what I considered my bread and butter early on. So yeah, I would definitely be down to design those at some point. I don't love my options here. We'll see how quick we are. What time tomorrow? Probably somewhere around 26 hours from now or so, TC. Meh. That Dust is a good placement here, because they are going to rip through Carl, and then I don't think I can necessarily hold them off after this, but we'll see. Okay, we definitely need to go to the special 3 here. Special 1's not going to do a whole bunch into her crit resist. Ouch! Take care, Akbar. And have fun. Wish we could see how much damage that did. I guess we can after the fight's over. I'll take a look at that. I mean, yeah, of course champs land weaker than we hope, right? Like, I think what a lot of people misunderstand about champion design is that, like, players tend to talk about it in the terms of, like, tier lists, or as though you can compress it to a single dimension and rank champions from 0 to 100. And bluntly, that's just silly. There's a lot of different factors that yeah, there's just a lot of different factors. You can't really compress it. And at the end of the day, what we do is more art than science. Um, we try to add as much science to it as we possibly can. We try to learn from history as much as we can. We run numbers, but we can't really accurately plan for exactly what's going to happen when a champion goes out in the wild, right? And that both goes for, like, maybe we didn't account for an interaction. It also goes for, like, sometimes, honestly, we did our jobs, in my opinion, exactly as we should have, and players just don't pick up on it, right? And that's fine. It happens. And so there's always going to be misses both up and down. Some people don't like it, but, like, the reason that I personally am bullish on the fact that I do think that we should have minor regular nerfs in this game is because that is just inevitable. We're not going to be perfect. We are going to miss high and low, and a certain amount of that is expected, right? You want a certain amount of unevenness, because that can lead to excitement. That can lead to players feeling like they've figured something out, right? Either they get to feel smart because they have figured out that this character is like more powerful, right? Or they get to feel skilled because this character is maybe a little bit less powerful and they're still finding success with them, right? Both of those things should exist in a game. But sometimes, because again, it's more art than science, we're going to miss high or low to a degree that is problematic. And that's why we should be able to fix things. Anyway. Speaking of power burn, does power burn tick faster than other dots? When it's used as a dot, yes. Simply because power and health modifications tick more quickly than actual damaging effects. And power burn is not a traditional damaging effect. I'm not sure it should be considered a damaging effect at all, to be perfectly honest. But power burn is not a traditional damaging effect. It's effectively a power drain. So the power gets modified every tenth of a second instead of every half of a second. And every time the power is modified, the damage is dealt. Why is the game looking better here? Probably because you like the slight purple tinge that I am not able to get out of my capture card. Bastion was intended to be a utility beast, yeah. I do think he came in a little hot, but, you know, see the spiel I just gave. I think it's largely a coincidence, Delfino, because, like, Photon and Blue Marvel weren't originally intended to be bleed immune, but somebody asked me if Photon even had blood, because that's kind of our old school razor for should they be able to bleed, is do they have blood? And I was like, no, actually, I guess she doesn't. And then Blue Marvel, it has very similar powers, so that was logical. Serpent, I'll admit, it was more for meta reasons. Trying to think through some of the others. Kushala, it was because of the Ghost Rider baggage. There's not that many of them. Luke already had it. Yeah, it's not that many. Sam is so good. Spider-Woman is very good. Ghost Rider was in the game, yes, but but we just gave him a full overhaul, what we call a rebuild. New animations, new special effects, new kit. So, in a lot of ways, that's a new release. I, you're like kind of getting at Labyrinth, but you're also wrong. Silver Sable and Patriot do counter Photon. Mr. Knight does counter Photon. Unless what you mean is this why we have Photon counters that don't completely shut off her kit on every single node in the entire game forever? Because yes, that is kind of the point, right? The game would be boring and we wouldn't be able to ship 20, God, it's like 30 something characters a year if we did that. Somebody asked what happened to AI 2.0. Nothing happened to it. We're just continuing to work on it. Hey, Dex. Got Null Awakened and Ascended. Very cool. Yeah, Null is awesome. Oh, we're not going to agree there, Dragonfly. Spider-Woman didn't even get nerfed. She got buffed, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to get clicks. She should have been hit harder. Every conversation leads back to Miguel. Speaking of accidental counters. Anyway, let's keep going. At some point, I might need to pause and grab some water. God, I hate ads. I get it. Unfortunately, they're not really something that I can control on Twitch. I have the frequency set such that there shouldn't be ads when you first join the stream, but that's all I can really do. How did she get buffed? Now her evade counter can't be purified. And she's a more reliable answer for things like Thing, where the ability accuracy was actually hurting her. I do think Ensnare was overall hurting her, yes. But I think the bigger thing is that the evade counter got moved to a severe debuff instead of a normal one. That is a huge buff that not enough people really processed. Okay, give me a second. I am going to go grab some water. I'll be right back, everybody. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Hey, Frostbite. Let me have that Kabam title. We got jobs on the website. Apply. Earn it. Nah, I know that this is not a popular topic, and I'm probably losing fans as I speak it, but I'm gonna stick on this one, Dragonfly. Her being awesome doesn't mean that she shouldn't have been nerfed more. I think Kate's awesome. Kate needs to be nerfed. Like, I'm not gonna go through the full list here, but like, there are characters in this game that are cool, that are a lot of fun, that would still be fun at an appropriate power level. And what you don't understand if you haven't worked in game design is the collateral damage that inevitably comes from characters who should be nerfed not being nerfed. Do you know how many characters are bleed or poison immune or reduced duration simply because Archangel is overpowered? We're not going to go through the list, but it's not short. There's that's like the most simple dimension to really understand, but like in the long run, it is not actually player beneficial to leave overpowered attackers overpowered. it ends up hurting you. And it is difficult to understand that if you haven't been in dozens of meta planning meetings and design reviews. I get that. Like, some people get it, but it's difficult to get, and I don't hold it against you, but that's why I'm telling you. Because, Ams, defenders and attackers are not the same. This is a very common talking point, and people love to trot it out as a gotcha, but they're just not equivalent. Like, this came up a lot back when Serpent first came out. People love to compare him to Hercules. Defenders and attackers do not have the same effect when they're very strong. And so let's just run through a quick numbers game there, right? No, calm down, Infernus. We're gonna talk about one issue at a time. Because most of the time when people mean this, they're not talking about Serpent as an attacker. They're talking about him as defender. And we're gonna all be honest with each other on that. If you have a really powerful defender, you can make them not a problem by releasing maybe 6 to 10 attackers. If you have a Hercules level attacker and you spend an entire year shipping champions that say if the opponent is Hercules, they die, then you still have 90% of the game that he's good for. That is not how it, like, those are not equivalent. You should not be comparing powerful defenders to powerful attackers. And now, getting to the Serpent point, I agree Serpent's too strong as an attacker. That's not a gotcha, right? You're not going like, oh, but Serpent's a strong attacker, so how can you say that Spider-Woman needed to be nerfed? No, Spider-Woman needed to be nerfed harder, and also Serpent is too strong as an attacker. But holy cow, the fit that the player base would have thrown if we had nerfed Serpent on offense and not on defense, which would have been, in my opinion, the best move at the time, would have been truly epic. Thanks. Welcome, Brew. Okay, let's play. Nice, Jay. July is also my birthday month. Looking forward to it. I don't understand. I know, for those of you who don't know, TC is always sarcastic. I'm not really following the joke there, but I see you. Oh. Our opponent has some chonky donkers, as they say. Hey, Dilly, how's it going? I'm fine. I do get animated when people think that they've pulled gotchas that are not gotchas. But I'm fine. I'm not mad at anyone. Thanks, DC. Yeah, we want Luke. I haven't actually used Gentle yet. Oh, of course, because he's rank 5 and every other opponent has been banning him. Duh. Yeah, but Spider-Woman was supposed to be a 3 on defense, Am. Serpent was supposed to be a 5. Character goals do matter, and if you want to pretend like 3 and 5 are the same thing, I don't know why we're having this conversation. Not 100% sure, Dragon. Probably until I just run out of steam. Oh, heck yeah, Dilly. Congrats on the truck. I'm glad that saga has jinxed it, but at least calm down. Ah, okay, thank you, TC. I know you're not supposed to explain the joke, but that helped. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't end up with any of my techs, and I did leave their gene open. Well, this may not go well. I mean, we should have this win pretty much no matter who they pick. We'll see. Thank you, everybody, for the follows. I appreciate you being here. Very much agreed, Jason. Spider-Woman needed to be changed. The funny thing about Spider-Woman is, like, I know y'all don't trust our data anyway, but people love going, oh, you know, she wasn't actually a problem on defense, unlike Serpent. Except that she was. Her win rate as somebody who is supposed to be a 3 out of 5, it's very comparable to Serpent's on release, who was a 5 out of 5. If you really want to try and convince me that's not a problem, I don't know. Good luck. I don't know who you're talking about, Bryce. Wasn't Dracula supposed to be a 4 out of 5 in damage? I mean, it is important to note that, like, the attributes are not a perfectly scientific measuring system, right? They're supposed to convey, like, rough goals and measure certain things, right? And I realize I just used the 3 versus 5, but, like, 3 to 5 is a big freaking jump. And so I think we can all agree on it. I'm not pretending that the attributes are perfect. I also do think there's a pretty decent chance the Dracula might have gotten something if... Probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. If y'all hadn't pitched a fit and ruined the balance program. Not anybody here specifically, but you know what I mean. The royal y'all. Because I do think Dracula's probably a little bit below his 4. But I also don't think Dracula's as far below his 4 as a lot of people seem to think he is. Concussion just beat the protect. Come on, Nico. Wait, how did it come back anyway? It didn't work that way anymore. Oh well. Bring it on. Oh, bite me, Usafa. You know exactly what I mean. Oh, absolutely, Jason. But that's why we weren't looking only at Alliance War in that meta. Um... Yeah, but that's just going to be how it goes, Sentry. It's the same thing with, like, when Magic the Gathering bans cards that people spent money on, right? Like, that's worse. It's better when we can adjust somebody so that they're still valuable and just not as overpowered, right? If we had done the exact original thing that we said we were going to do on Spider-Woman, and then let's assume that it was easy for us to offer rank down tickets, because it's not currently trivial, it's a lot of work. But let's assume that it was easy for us to do that, and that we had done it, even though we were not under the obligation of doing so, because that was the point of the balance program. It was not supposed to come with rank down tickets. But follow me on this. If we had gone with the original proposed change and handed out rank down tickets to every single person with a rank 4 Spider-Woman, I would feel very strongly that it would be a mistake for 99% of those people to use it. Like, that's the problem with that whole narrative, that it's unfair for us to make changes because people invested in champions. That assumes that the changes make the investment not worth it. And I think that is a very flawed assumption. Okay, I don't remember exactly what you're talking about, Yusuf, but I got you. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, sorry, I kind of lost the thread for the Dracula conversation, but TC is basically getting to what I was going to go for, which is like Dracula's 4 out of 5 is not look at how big these numbers or how fast these battlegrounds times are. Dracula's 4 out of 5 is this damage is really consistent and hard to stop. It's degen, almost nobody is resistant to it, nobody is immune to it. It's not really subject to most ability accuracy, if any, because it's just up at the start of the fight. It dodges inequity, it dodges all kinds of things. Like, that is what the 4 out of 5 is measuring with Dracula. Have we decided who's designing Doom? Yes. Why is the new Coliseum so hard? I feel like that's a joke if you're talking about the side quest Coliseum refill. Refi? I don't know. Let me know how you want me to pronounce your name. Ah. I mean, if you are offering to gift subs, Bryce, then sure, absolutely. I'll appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you in advance. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to bait specials with Thanos. I mean, I will say, like, yes, XL champions do have a bit of trouble baiting specials even now, but if you try and just stay open and make sure you're not creating too much distance, that helps. Yubs, don't be a jerk. Simple rule. Dracula's much, much better than people act. I've used him a fair amount. I like him a lot. Okay. Tickle's prize. A2 Punk or A1 Evo to rank 5. That really depends on who you like more. Like, obviously, Evolutionary is a stronger defender. I think he's a bit underrated on offense, but he's not super strong there. Punk is insane on offense, but mainly only annoying on defense. Kind of depends on what you need. I would probably lean Punk a little bit, but not super strong. I actually agree with you, TC. I would personally, if you told me that we needed to make Dracula stronger, right? We have to start with that assumption, and that's maybe not the most valid assumption in the world, but let's start with that. If we start with the assumption that Dracula needs to be stronger, and then you offered me the assignment, I would probably start with the regen, not the damage. It's not unfair to make changes. It's unfair to make such a drastic change. BS. Sorry, Snow, but no. It was not that drastic of a change. Like, that's bluntly just nickel and diming. If you want to pretend that the change to Spider-Woman was too drastic, then we can't ever really make any change anywhere, right? It was the healthiest change. Because you know what would it, like, because I know what you're about to say. You're going to say, well, oh, but it was taking away an entire ability. Yeah, an entire ability that didn't do anything for her target matchups. It was not an ability she needed to have. Like, it would have been a less drastic change to tune down all of her furies, right? That wouldn't have been removing an entire ability. That still would have fixed a lot of the things offensively. But it wouldn't have fixed the defensive problem. It would not have been as elegant. And it would have been worse for her basically everywhere. The original change was the correct one. And obviously we backed down from it and apologized and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean it wasn't the correct one. Kindred does not out DPS Dracula 90% of the time. If you feel that way, it's probably because you are only ever playing Kindred offensively in their target matchups. Because in buff heavy ones, yeah, Kindred's pretty darn good. Always has been. Yes, last champ I designed was Blue Marble. No, it didn't, Snow. Like, y'all can say that all you want. We had the data. She was not being used for hardly any evade matchups. And the ones where she was being used, her win rate was not good. And they were clearly outside of what was intended for her. Who did I get for my keys? I'm not gonna lie, I maxed it out. I got everybody. It's not the evade, it's the AA reduction. Okay, we already covered that. 30% AA reduction is harmful to the person with it as often as it is helpful. You want to pretend that Spider-Woman's win rate was good against somebody like Serpent? Cool. I don't think I'm going to respond to you further. Have a good one, dude. Because Dracula's a good generalist signature. Generalists have value. A bit of both, King Shahedi. We can call dibs, we can try and pick the champions we want to design, but sometimes multiple people call dibs, sometimes the champions line up just too close to each other. Lovely taste in rank 5's opponent, but they're out of here. So yeah, we don't have absolute control over we design, but we do get to ask. If Blue Marvel was fast in Battlegrounds, he would be overpowered in Furnace. I do stand by that. We tested him that way. It was too much. He just took everything. Yeah, it would have been more relevant, but that doesn't mean that it's a good call. Nah, I'm gonna opt out of this conversation, Signature. You're making a lot of assumption, or you're kind of assuming a lot of premises, and I don't really feel like doing the work of disentangling them. It's fine that you don't like Dracula. That's fine. We can move on. Man, I love when the game freezes out and doesn't let you pick somebody at the end, even though you were definitely clicking on them. Okay. Toodles, Snow. You can get bent, dude. How many rank 5? I'm at 7 at the moment. Hey, Sim. Safe travels. Maybe I should have grabbed the Shocker. Oh, I have to pick one. I don't want to pick one. Indeed work. Thanks, Infernus. I'm quite happy with how Pavita turned out for the most part. I think the July 4th event will be similar. If the question is it going to focus on Ascension? Yes, Ascension is effectively taking the place of a new rarity. That is the point. Hitmonkey versus Zola is certainly a choice. I think we're okay to use Hulkling here, though. Okay, back up. Let me hit you. All right. Could have been cleaner, but that worked. Thanks, Moxie. It's been a while. Yeah, no, I know the monkey's good, and I know that he doesn't need to bleed, but I feel like if he doesn't have access to bleeds and the cowardice is shutting down his specials, that he just can't be that fast. Like, I fear him, but not really against Zemo. There's definitely a demographic split between people who watch streams on YouTube and Twitch, absolutely. My role as a character designer in the department, like they're a team leader person in a different position. So there is a team lead, yes. Hold on, let me think through this and I'll come back to that. That's a good question. Yeah, we expected that. That's fine. I'm fine if I lose here. One second. I will come back to your question, John. Because they probably win this. But I feel pretty darn good about round 3. Oh my god, she moved outside just for that. Oh, that's so evil. Yeah, and then we just lose. Because if this had landed, we'd be fine, but the recoil kills us. That's fine. That was a throw round. Oh, well that's just wrong, nice guy. Oh, that's fine. They did plenty of damage. They earned that. I was struggling. I'm chuckling ASAP, but let's be nice. We've gotten... There's some good conversation over in the Twitch chat as well. Okay. Come here. I was expecting the special 2 to kill. I was not expecting the first hit of the special 1 to, or the special 2 to overkill. Okay, so to your question, John, like, yes, there's a team lead. I think at the moment we have 9 character designers, something like that. Um, and then we are part of a larger design team. So there's a design lead that oversees the character designers, the balance designers, the encounter designers, that kind of thing. And then like separately, there's like the live game people, which includes like economy, monetization, etc. That's kind of the rough structure. There's a lot more to it than that. There's also engineers and UI support and like project managers attached to all of those designers. There's QA for all of that stuff. Like it's a sizable company, but I think that roughly answers what you were going for. I mean, you're getting the same amount of Mysterium with basically nothing to spend it on, yes. But that's because the stuff that you used to be buying with Mysterium, you're just getting now. So you can use the Mysterium to catch up, or if you're like me, you can let it rot, but you're not really worse. Who do I have to thank for the Sam buff? You're talking to him. Yeah, out of the Ascension launch pool, I was responsible for the changes to Sam and to Stormix. But thank you, I appreciate it. I don't really appreciate when people say that a choice they don't agree with is criminal. All I'll say is just remember we have to coordinate things with Marvel. Yeah, maybe I should have tried Penny against Spider-Woman. I'll keep an eye out for that one. Oh, she definitely does. Lady Deathstrike's quite good. I mean, we don't see a ton of Weapon X's anymore, but she's great for that. The severe ruptures give her another answer to a lot of fights. The heal block's quite good. I think she's always been underrated, and I do think that she's slightly less important than she was when she first dropped, but I think that's underselling her. Yeah, Marion. Gentle hits like a truck. No, Baron, the same way that you can't expect every other thing that you don't personally find valuable to be taken out of the Platinum Pass. It's not how they're built. It's not like it's taking up room, really. Like, there's so much good stuff in the Platinum Pass. You're not missing out on anything else because the Mysterium is there. I promise. If you're talking about your previous joke in this chat, Jason, I appreciated it. If you're talking about somewhere that I'm not, then I feel for you. Yeah, I mean, we're not in the like actual execution of the DevOps. We do talk to them, right? Like we try and make sure that the various teams aren't too siloed. Okay, we are coming up on the GC. Okay. Okay. I'll take that. I've done Yelena, Nico, and Solvark with Lady Deathstrike, even did a Serpent in 70 seconds. Okay, the Serpent spooks me a little, but yeah, the rest make a lot of sense, especially Yelena, since she doesn't care as much about her attack rating as most champions do. That's neat. Yeah, the Mysterium store is definitely better off if you have the sigil, not gonna lie. But the important thing is just you're not missing out on anything because it's there. Take care, Pontus. Red Hulk meta? That's cool. That out of here. Zilius, that's just RNG, dude. Like, you spent units knowing that there was a chance of the drop rate, right? Not that you were going to get it after a certain number of openings. I'm sorry, but you don't get to complain about fairness after you gamble. I didn't get any 4 to 5 gems out of that stuff, right? I didn't get any 3 to 4 gems. And the 1 to 2 gems I got were completely worthless to me because I am out of characters to use them on. Them's the breaks, dude. Uh. Well, you got me, Charles. You distracted me, and I didn't draft who I wanted to, but I'm sorry, so much of your blood pressure is caught up on which drops there are. Oh. Another point in what you were saying, Elijah. There's aggro, and then there's whatever the heck that was. Alright, this is going to be a tough one. Dang it! I don't know why I did that. Okay, well, we closed it out okay. Nice, Shadow. Congrats. Welcome, Yo. Fair to ask what skills are needed in my role and work environment. Bam. I mean, it's kind of hard to define the skills. To be perfectly honest, I don't try to define them unless I'm actively updating my resume or LinkedIn, which I haven't done in a while. I don't have any formal training in what I'm doing. A lot of it I kind of picked up playing the game for a long time. That helped. Like, that meta knowledge helped. I've played video games for a really long time, paid attention. And that kind of helped me have context for design decisions. A lot of the actual design skills, or like design conventions, I should say, I picked up from some of my coworkers. I had a rudimentary knowledge of basic coding concepts. I think I had a pretty good understanding of like creative processes from my education in music, even though that's definitely not a direct transfer. Good old Nick. Um, you need to be able to talk to people. You need to be able to take criticism. I know my haters are gonna really laugh at that one. Um, but like obviously there's a difference between professional criticism and some of the stuff we've seen in the last 2 hours. You need to be able to articulate your thoughts. You need to be able, I mean, like it sounds like such a truism to say problem solving skills because that's on like you apply to Jamba Juice and they say you need to have problem solving skills. But for a job like this, it really is true, right? You're going to come up with, hey, this isn't working, and you're gonna need to find a way through it. I don't know. It's difficult to articulate. Kabam HQ is in Vancouver. There literally is a trade-in. It's not a good trade-in, Unknown, don't get me wrong, but there is a trade-in. One second. It's this down here, right? If you somehow have any Omega Days or Hearts of Fire characters you haven't ranked up, you can do that. Otherwise, this is the trade-in for 1 to 2 gems. And before you tell me that that's a garbage rate, I agree with you. There is a trade-in. Yes, those are the 3 skill champions that I've made TC. Although I know you are being a goober. It's not a scam, dude. The purple from Streamlabs is really obvious. The purple from Unblockable, yeah. And like here, the little gear sign on the masteries is very purple as opposed to the blue in game. Which Kabam employee is the best at the game side? I would say, I mean, neither MSD nor FinTech are full-time employees. They're both contractors, but they're probably the 2 most skilled in that sense. I mean, but we have a lot of pretty dang good players. I think a lot of them prefer to not be in the spotlight, though, so I don't think I'm going to name other names. I appreciate that signature. And I very much appreciate that you are comfortable with the idea that taking criticism does not mean deciding the other person is right. Because I think that is kind of the way a lot of people approach it. I've talked about this in some of my members-only vids, but like part of the skill of taking criticism well is not just taking it and nodding, but like standing your ground the correct amount, right? Picking your battles, deciding what's worth holding on to, deciding like what actually isn't that important, and genuinely listening to the other person. And if they have a good point, like changing, right? There was actually, it was a funny meeting a few weeks ago, where several of us, I'm not going to give details, but several of us across a few different teams were not understanding each other on Slack. And so we scheduled a Google Meet so that we could hash it out in real time. And I was not at all understanding why this other person was saying that something had to work a particular way. It made no sense to me. I was like, this. What? It almost felt like they were being obstinate. And then we got in the meeting and they explained it again. And I quickly found myself explaining what they were saying to everybody else who was, quote, on my side in the meeting, right? Because sometimes that's what happens, right? That's how working with other people works. Somebody makes a good argument, it clicks in your head, and you go, oh, they're right. It's now time to zealously advocate for this. It's just, yeah, the way it should be. I sometimes have responsiveness issues on the game, like champions filtered right up and down. Yeah, I've been there before, especially with scrolling. I hear you on that. I don't really have a response, but it's annoying when it happens. Rebooting the game normally fixes it, but it's frustrating. I can't give any kinds of news like that, Brew, even if I had it, right? We got some big boys over here. Being a genius is just as much a burden as it is a benefit. It's funny. Thanks again for the falters on. Would I say a better player has Assuming that's supposed to be a very good chance of designing a good champ. No. I do think that being a good player helps you with certain kinds of design decisions, because you're going to catch things that other people might not. Yeah, it's not what I should have done. But it's not a requirement. In my opinion, some of our best designers are some of our weakest players on the team, and they will be the ones to tell you that, right? I mentioned this before, but I remember when I was in the process for Kate Bishop in her very first playtest, one of the other designers specifically said, they're like, I am not having a good time. I am having no success. I am getting destroyed in all of these fights. And you shouldn't change anything because I see what you're going for, right? That's the mark of a good designer, to be able to see what someone else is going for, even if it's not working for you. And so I would say that, like, being a good player helps, but it's more important to be a thoughtful player than to be a good player. At least by the way that most people measure it. Would Batman be skill or tech? If Batman were a Marvel character, we would be asking Marvel what they thought about it. Because you can definitely make an argument either way. And it might come down to, like, what's the word? It might come down to whether we wanted him to be skill or tech more. Skill. Good job, Penny. Does Marvel have to sign off on each character? Yeah. I mean, that's just part of the partnership, right? They get certain approval rights. I personally would lean skill for Batman. I agree with TC on that. And I think the most Batman-like characters in Marvel that we have in the game have been skill, right? People point to Moon Knight, and that's like a little bit, but also somebody like Night Thrasher. No, that's not the right one. Well, this is going to be a little tough for me, depending on who they pick. Yeah, I did not want to pick Absorbing Man. Okay, thank God they did that, because this will be a little easier. If they'd picked Dark Phoenix, I was up a creek. That was such a stupid unforced error, and I would have had no way of winning. Buddy, thank you. I forgot that I wasn't going to get to my special too, because of his stupid combo punishment nonsense that a Cosmic should totally have. So I should have played that differently and it could have been a lot faster, but how do we do? Yeah, I should have been more aggressive. Okay, well, we're screwed. Ugh. I forgot about the combo thing, or that would have been an easy win. I don't think so, Lo-Fi. Like, we kind of experimented with that back in the days. Here comes Dark Phoenix. Yeah, we kind of experimented with that back in the day with Karnak, and it didn't really work. Yeah, if they have any idea what they're doing, and I think they do, based on that Absorbing Man fight, then we have lost this one. So I'm glad I used a Streak Freeze. But yeah, I don't think that dual class would really help the game. I think the closest we get these days... excuse me. I think the closest we get these days is with characters like White Tiger, or Blue Marvel is actually another one, who conceivably could be at least a little bit like other classes. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And so end up getting some of the characteristics of those classes, right? Like Blue Marvel has a lot of crits. White Tiger has the crits and the Purify. Yep, that's fine. Well, we got her down to 1. This might almost be better. It was better! Hey, they probably pushed Sam to special too. Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate you. Would love to see a Green Lantern design in a game like this. That'd be an interesting one. Excuse me. I was surprised to see Null get Ascension. Champs in the pool really seem to lean into class relationships, and Null doesn't. In a lot of ways, yeah. And he was a border pick for that, but that's part of why he was in this box as opposed to the base pool. And he does reinforce some other things nicely, like armor break immunity. Like, yeah. Yeah, he's a decent target for some others. Alright, let me grab Blade. That is a pretty cool profile pic. Add more emotes to Twitch. Yeah, I should. I have some from YouTube, and I'll move some over, but I think I also need to get some more made. Yeah, I'm with you there, Vargas. I enjoy DC as well. I was actually more of a DC fan growing up. Like, what am I thinking? Like, yeah, growing up, I would watch, like, basically all the DC shows. Justice League, Static Shock, Batman Beyonds. I'm dating myself here, but yeah. And I am looking forward to the Supergirl movie. I liked the Superman one quite a bit. If people don't use their remotes, I think I'm playing a bot. Hopefully the Kabam tag does something to dissuade you. But honestly, I kind of feel the other way around. I feel like if somebody spams emotes, that... I don't know, I find it off-putting. But people are different, you know? I get that, TC, but at the same time, like, Scroll was one of the cheapest characters we've ever made available for units. Some things should be exclusive. I already answered that question. That. That's funny. Thank you, everybody, for following. Okay. Yeah, no, I get that. It's definitely not fun. Okay. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think I'm going to take a breather here. What mark? Oh, I guess I haven't done any EQ, right? So I probably have to stream some of that this weekend. It's funny. I don't think I'll have any more rank ups to do because I took all of the box characters up. Yeah, and I think I only have, yeah, I only have one of the special 3 to 4 gems, and I'm going to hold on to that until July. I'm holding one of each of them for that. So I think my prestige is pretty much locked this month. 6 more minutes till my next drop. It's fun. Misty's an interesting one. Because she barely needs a tune-up. She just needs a SIG that does something. And I don't think her designer would be offended by that. It was... Misty was their first character ever, and by their own admission, they, quote, kind of didn't know what to do for the SIG. It happens, you know? I haven't played EQ since we changed it. Why not? It's generally faster. No, it's not a setting unknown. It's because I play on an iPad, and so the aspect ratio is different, which is part of why I have the chat to the side here, as opposed to often when you see people stream, they would have it on top of. But yeah, that's what that is. It's just an iPad. Like if I pull up PC, then the resolution settings are different again. And I have like 8 or 9 across. I'm up over 1600 prestige. Woof. I think I am too, work, because I think I was at like 38.4 or something, and so yeah, it's about that. I've jumped a lot this month. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and call the YouTube 39.2 to 40.8. Dang, dude. All right, I'm gonna call the YouTube stream. I will see y'all later. Thank you so much for hanging out, for chatting. Talk to you soon, and I am going to find somebody to raid on the Twitch side. I was used to playing on auto.